And we are live.
Hey, folks, Scott and I are back with another great topic. So, this week we're talking about all the great places you can take your dog. The weather's going to start to get nicer out. And so, I want to give you guys some ideas you can take your dog with the upcoming weather changes and just in general, places you can take your dog. Before I jump into it, let's do like an Archie check in. Are there
Sure.
places that you take Archie?
We like to take him on like trail walks and hikes and that sort
Yep.
of thing. There's a bunch
Hmm.
of them like sort of like 10, 15 minutes north of us. Once in a while, maybe less springtime, but wintertime or in the summertime, there are a couple like hardware stores that allow dogs to walk
Yep.
around. And so
Hmm.
we'll take them in there, leashed up, of course. And then
Yep.
otherwise, depends on the day and how hot it is in the summer. But springtime is just
Exactly.
find out where we can walk him. That's not too muddy. We recently bought him slush pants, so now he has good
Flush
coverage.
and yeah.
It's
Uh-huh.
only his paws get dirty. Thankfully, he's like a mop, so makes life a little bit
Hmm.
easier for us. But yeah, it's sort of finding those new adventures is always. Sometimes it's like just the other side of the road that he never walks on is more of an adventure.
Exactly.
But other
Exactly.
times
Little.
it's like, okay, can we take him that he can sort of bounce around? Maybe it's a dog park, or maybe it's a new dog park if we've heard good things, or meet other
Mhm,
dogs that we
mhm.
owners that we know and have like like play dates and that sort of thing too. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And so just what Scott's talking about, taking Archie to different places depending on the mood, the day, the time. So as I go through this list, there's going to be certain factors you want to take into place, depending on your dog. You know, if you have a shy or fearful dog, some of these places may not apply, or some of these places may apply. So think about your dog and their reaction to being out and about, and whether this place will be good for your dog or not as I go through the list. And I'll touch on that a little bit too. But yeah, taking them to all those places, like you say, are ideal. And I'm just going to go through the list, and then maybe you'll get some cool tips for Archie.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started. So one place you guys can take your dog to kind of get them out and enjoying themselves is the beach, beaches, lakes, streams, or ponds. So whether you're just letting them, but be mindful. You want to make sure the dog's allowed on the beach first, or the pond, or whatever area you're taking them to. You don't just want to show up and then people are giving you the side eye. So just make sure dogs are allowed there. I know in Massachusetts there are a few places that you guys can take your dogs. I know there's Carson Beach. There's Houghton's Pond right there. What is it in Stoughton, Canton? Not Stoughton, Stoughton. And over there in Stoughton. So you guys can go there as well. I know they welcome dogs. So you can also Google and just look, parks near me, beaches near me, and find all those locations as well. Another place you can simply take your dog is to a city park or something like that. Just to, especially if you're going to socialize them, seeing different people and stuff. You can go to downtown Boston, to the Boston Commons. You can just go. I know I live in Norwood, Massachusetts. I can go to downtown Norwood. So it doesn't have to be this great big city or great big park like the Boston Common, which is like pretty popular. You can just go to like your local downtown or something, especially if your dog's a little nervous or not good being around other people. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that's a little bit more simple is taking your dog out for a car ride. You want to make sure that just because your dog's in the car, you don't just want to assume that the car ride's enough. Some dogs may get bored on a car ride. Some dogs become destructive on car rides. So make sure you're bringing all the proper necessities based on your dog's needs for that car ride. So whether it's like a bully stick or a Kong or something to keep them engaged, but definitely take them on a car ride throughout the scenic areas and letting them kind of enjoy that. If this is your thing, I know I don't have a boat, or if you go on a boat, you can take your dog on a boat ride. But you want to make sure that you're using a life vest for your dog, especially if they're smaller dogs. I know certain dog breeds, like the one I have, a French bulldog, they don't do well at all in water, like they will sink to the bottom. So just be sure that if you are going to go on a boat ride or use any type of swimming, that you are using the proper equipment for that. Has Archie ever been on a boat?
I want to say no. I don't think
No?
so.
Okay,
I
you're
can't
like,
remember.
let me think about that. No.
No?
Just
We don't have
wondering.
a life jacket for him. We might have, but I can't
Yep.
remember. So he's gotten around the water in the pond. He will only go so far. He won't swim.
Yep.
But he'll like go like up to his elbows and maybe up to his shoulders if
And
he
then
was,
run back.
run back to watch the other dogs swim. And they're like, no, no,
Yep.
okay.
No, you're like, no, that's fine. I'll stay here. Yep.
Yeah.
So again, just being mindful what your dog wants to do. Another simple one is bring your dog to like a pet store like PetSmart, Petco, or your local pet store, and just let your dogs allow them to sniff inside. Also, the pet stores are not the only stores you can take your dogs to. Like Scott was saying, you can take them to like your local Home Depot or Lowe's or things like that in your area. What else? Michael pets as well. So you can go to like those local stores, especially if you're working on socializing your dog with different sounds and stuff. I find I take a lot of my dogs to Home Depot and Lowe's and things like that, just to help, kind of get them more socialized and also working on desensitizing when it comes down to that part of the training. So just taking your dogs to a local pet store and like home appliance store, I guess they're called. Like Scott was saying, taking a hike in the woods. You want to make sure that if you're taking your dogs on a hike in the woods, that you have the proper medical preventatives. So such as making sure your dog's on some type of flea and tick, especially if that's like a popular thing in the region of the, region where you are. Because I know where I live in back of a conservation land. No, I don't take my dogs hiking at all, but I live across from conservation land where there's fleas and ticks. So therefore, I do have them on that. So you want to make sure if you are going on hikes, if that's your thing, you love hiking, just make sure your dogs have some type of flea and tick medication and first aid too. Maybe we'll do a live on that because that's something that's also, kind of underrepresented when it comes to dogs, like knowing how to do first aid. So just making sure you have a first aid kit with you. Another great one to do in the summer is camping. So I've never taken my dogs camping. Have you taken Archie camping before? I think you
No.
have. No?
No, we don't do
You're
camping. We do trail walks. We don't do camping. So, but I've heard it's a great
You're like,
situation.
no camping.
We don't do camping. Maybe cottages, but no camping. So, but I've heard it's it's a good time. I mean, it can work out for sure.
Yep, exactly. So camping, if that's your thing, you can take your dog camping and they would so love it. They like sniff around the different smells, sleeping inside the tent. But again, just make sure they're up to date on any type of preventatives, especially flea and tick and also Lyme. We don't want to forget about that. Another simple one, take them to your friend's house. Let them hang out. Like Scott said, plan some doggy play dates with your friends. So also make sure, precaution, don't just show up at your friend's house. You just want to call them and make sure that they're okay with your dog coming over. A lot of times you may think that, hey, they have a dog, I have a dog, it may be great, but sometimes it may not be the case. So just call and check in with your friends and make sure that it's okay for you to stop by. Scott, do you have something to say?
Yes. One tip, if you are going to do a play date, I don't know about Pam, I don't know what your recommendation is. My experience has been it's much better to go to a neutral site than to like a dog's home, because I had my own bad experience with a friend, and essentially I think it was also because we're at the dog's home and then he had never met Archie, so he was very close to his home. And I think if they had met at a dog park or like a neutral park or whatever, maybe it would have been a better scenario. But just because that dog wasn't socialized that well, just really bad reaction to Archie, even though he's not trying to hurt anybody. So it was like, so if you are going to do play date, maybe see if they'll meet in more neutral space rather than, the dog's home that might want to protect it. I don't know. So it's just a thought.
No, Scott is right on point with that. So when I just said go to a play date at your friend's house, this is under the assumption that your dog's played with that other dog before. But Scott is absolutely right. If your dog has never met that other dog before, you want to meet on a neutral location just so it's even field. It's an even field for both of them. It's not your house, their house. It's not the other house, and it's neutral. And start them off there. And if they play well in a neutral location, then you can have them over to your house. But even with that, if they are coming to your house, take them for a walk around the block first, just to kind of let them, feel each other out, and then you can bring them through the door together. That's the key thing, together. But Scott is absolutely right. Scott's like, I have a question and an answer. But yeah, Scott's right with that. Just checking in with your friend, and if they don't have any history together, meet in a neutral location. All right. So another place you guys can take your dog is to a doggy daycare facility. I know a lot of my clients utilize that, especially a lot of folks that work from home and kind of feel a little bit of guilt because they want to get their dogs out and about, or just to socialize your dog in general with other dogs. You can take them to a doggy daycare facility. I know in my area, they have Dogtopia that opened up in Dedham, Mass. If you're in that location, they have a lot of them all around the states and stuff. So it's not just in Dedham. So you can look up Dogtopia. or any other doggy daycare, you can just Google and make sure that you're doing your research, take friends' recommendations before you just throw your dog into doggy daycare and stuff like that. You can also do doggy day camps as well, or any type of doggy activities with your dog will be ideal to kind of get them, out. And also the doggy daycare, like I said, socialization. You can take your dog for a bike ride, especially if you have a larger dog that's able to ride by you and you train them kind of to stick with you. It's not one of those things where I recommend that you just jump on a bike and start trying to get your dog to come with you, come along with you, but you can start off slow and getting them, right by your side, and then eventually riding on the bike with them next to you. So if that's your thing, or if jogging's your thing, you can. I used to jog with my dog for like 5 minutes, but I did. I was like on this health kick. I'm like, I'm going to jog with her, and so, but yeah, jogging with your dog, if that's your thing, you can jog with your dog, and that's also will tire them out if you have like a hyperactive dog. Just getting them out for exercise. I know we're coming up on spring, but if you're in an area where you're still going to have snow, you can take them sledding, or I was going to say skiing. You can't take them skiing. Take them sledding. And also, if they're not a fan of sledding, you can have them watch the kids sled as well. Just taking them up on the hills and just letting them run up and down as well. That can be ideal. Has Archie ever did anything like that, sledding? I just assume Archie does it all.
He's the sled police. So we had our next door neighbors at my parents' place. There's a nice hill, and so when they would run, he would bark at them, and then once they would get off, they had like the foam sled things that you would lay down on. And so once they get off him, he would go and grab it with his mouth and then run away. So he's like, I don't want you to do that. It looks too dangerous.
He's like, no, too dangerous.
Too dangerous. Yeah.
He's funny. He's like the parent dog.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, maybe because he's like hard herding dog. I don't know, but that's
Oh, true. That too. Herding dogs will do that. Herding dogs, folks, just means that they kind of just what it says: herd people, herd toys, herd children. They'll herd anything. So that could be part of it too. All right. Another thing you guys can do is take your dog to a dog training course or a class that's offered around your area. That way you can fine tune any handling skills that you have. Handling just means the way you handle your dog, or it could be the way you handle the leash, but you can also fine tune those things. So when your dog's going out and about, I know I teach classes as well in the Walpole area at Golden Opportunities for Independence. If you guys in my location or surrounding areas interested in that, we teach a variety of classes. So getting your dog engaged in that, keeping them busy, also exercise, like I said, with the classes, that actually tires them out as well. But just getting your dog, agility is good too. Didn't Archie do agility?
Yeah, he just started back up.
Yeah.
He started last night, so he's doing well, and he loves it. It's a good challenge. They get to try different things. Courses change, and it's good physically, but also mentally to make them think. And also, when you're the handler, it's something like it's a nice bonding, build a relationship. You're working with them. You're doing something fun.
Exactly.
It's not pure obedience. It's like more. There's some games. There's some stuff to do with them, and just continuing to train, like you're saying, is it's just furthering that building, that relationship you have with your dog too. It's always a nice change of pace, workouts, different games, different training things, and agility is
exactly. And like Scott's saying, if you don't want to take the basic obedience classes because say your dog's past that and you want to do something more fun, there's definitely there's not more fun because I think my classes are fun, but there's definitely other classes that do games, and I do games too, but there's other classes that like agility, nose work classes, there's therapy dog classes, so there's other specialty classes that your dog can take that you can do kind of all year round, but you could do a lot of outdoor ones like in the summertime when the upcoming weather changes and stuff. Also, taking your dog to a restaurant. Usually dogs are only permitted in outdoor seating, but you can call ahead and make sure that it's a dog friendly restaurant. I know Panera will let you bring your dogs in. I have taken dogs there to train, but also what I've noticed too, check with your town too, because it is town by town, because I can go to the Panera in Newton, Mass, if you're in that location, but I can't go to the Panera here in Walpole. So just make sure that whatever restaurant you're going to, just call ahead, even if they say they're dog friendly or that you're dog friendly, you don't want to show up and then they're like, nope, you can't have your dog there. But I know a lot of outdoor dining is going to be nice out. Take your dog there, start working on their downstays with duration, just mean having them stay longer so that when you go out, they can just hang out and chill with you at the restaurant. Have you taken Archie to any restaurants?
We take him to a couple like coffee shops where we go, and then he'll just
Mhm.
hang out for a bit. It's just looking for spaces, like just because he doesn't do well with heat wherever they have shade and that sort of thing. But
Yep.
there's been a few places around us where their patio is outdoor and they allow dogs and everything like that. It's always good
Mhm.
to see. It just depends on like sun and shade and how well your dog does with that, or what
Exactly.
shades available and that sort of thing usually, right? So, but it's always interesting. It's a good experience, you know. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So again, just taking your dogs to the restaurant. And the last one, if you want, if that's your thing, you can take your dog canoeing. I know I have seen people take their dog canoeing. It looks so cute, just seeing them little floating down the river. But you want to make sure that your dog's suitable for canoeing. If you have a dog that jumps or that's going to leap off the boat, maybe that's not ideal for you. So your dog has to be very like mild mannered and kind of chill to do that. So just if you know your dog, and also wearing a life jacket. So if you know your dog and you think that's for you, if they can go in a boat, they probably can go in a canoe, and that's probably your thing. So yeah, you guys can do that. But I hope you guys gained some really cool tips and tricks on, learned some cool places to take your dog, as well as some cool tips and tricks of when to take them, when not to take them, what kind of dogs that should go certain places and stuff like that. Have you learned anything new for Archie, Scott? Just throwing it
Yeah,
out there.
yeah, I've been learning lots of it. So like different places, thinking about how can we get them on a
Mhm.
boat, and other than that, thinking about
Yep.
where else we can go, and just different playing places and stuff. But and we
Mhm.
love to hear with people watching, like for your
Mhm.
area, throw down different places you like to have, any
Exactly.
you love, any different any stores that are pet friendly, any restaurants that are pet friendly. Let us know in the comments if you're watching this in a Facebook group. Let us know in the comments in there so the people in the group can actually see it. And then we'd
Exactly.
love to like use this Facebook Live for local communities of these Facebook groups. Just create like a running list of, hey, where can we go for an interesting time for a walk? Where's a fun trail? Where's a fun pond? Where's a good
Mhm.
restaurant or a good store that you can venture out to? And anything else you guys can think of, that'd be awesome too. So yeah.
Yep, of course. And I'm always looking for other places to socialize dogs. I do get recommendations from clients, so definitely you guys throw in the chat and in the comments, and I'll look at them too.
Exactly. There you
Yep.
go. Awesome. So yeah, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, anything else you want to wrap up with, Paige?
No,
Okay,
well,
cool.
no.
We're good to go. Awesome. Well, I hope everyone has a great week, and we will see everyone next week with another live. And
Yep.
yeah, enjoy the week, everyone.